Are the crazy rumors about Raila Amolo Odinga true? What rumors are these? I will tell you shortly. And actually, they became more than a rumor when a very respectable analyst, somebody whom I really trust, came to me with information which was kind of similar to the rumors just about 2 hours ago. Okay? Now I know the hatred for Raila Odinga these days is real, but please hear me out, because I believe there is something here. Iko kitu. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to praise Raila. I have not received a huge big fat envelope to promote Raila. No! I will just give you the facts as they are. Yeah? And the rumors as they are. And I will give you my analysis of the same, yeah, which I'm sure will take you by surprise. And then I'll let you make your own decision for yourself. Because as you know, on this channel, my mantra has always been to do something that stands the test of time. Now, what did this political analyst say to Kumekucha? The long and short of what he said is that Raila is up to something, and Raila knows something that the vast majority of Kenyans, the rest of us, do not know. That is precisely what he told me. And he elaborated and said that it is highly likely that Raila Amolo Odinga is making his last kamikaze move politically. Something that Kenyans will always remember him for, always remember him fondly for, through generations and generations to come. In other words, whatever this is, it will do Kenyans good. Now, what could this kamikaze move be all about? By the way, just to bring all of us onto the same page, kamikaze comes from the Japanese offensive tactic during the Second World War, where they put young boys inside aircrafts loaded with explosives, and then these aircrafts would go into a dive on an enemy target. And of course it would destroy the pilot and the aircraft, but then it would also destroy the enemy target. That is where kamikaze comes from. And so in this instance, somebody wants us to believe that Raila is making a move that will destroy him politically, but will also destroy something else that is harmful to Kenyans, or something else which, when removed, will make Kenya a better place. Now, to be totally honest with you, even if that is true, I'm not sure about the part where Raila will be fondly remembered. Because the politics of the day, the mood of the Kenyan people right now is very ugly. And it is highly unlikely that anything Raila will do or can do from here going forward will ever make Kenyans return to that place where they were so fond of Baba. It is sad, but that is the reality. In my opinion, it is a delusion of those close to Raila that if, for instance, today Raila suddenly leaves the broad-based government and leads the charge to a successful impeachment of the current president, then he will suddenly be a hero to all Kenyans. I don't believe that that can happen. I don't believe that Raila can get such a reaction. That is how ugly the mood of Kenyans is right now as we speak. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong. You know, actually when you think about it very deeply, we have too many major political forces in Kenya currently who are delusional. They have a delusion, something which is not real, but they are really hanging on to it with dear life, and they believe with all their hearts that they're on the right track and that whatever it is they're cooking will work. Okay? Now, before we look at those pipe dreams, ndoto za mchana, yeah, let me also admit that I too also have my own ndoto ya mchana. In fact, people allied to the government right here on this channel have pointed it out in the comments area many times. My ndoto ya mchana is of a brand new Kenya where there is hardly any corruption, where the justice system works, where all three arms of government are working independently for the betterment of the lives of long-suffering Kenyans. I dream of a Kenya where there is justice for all. I dream of a Kenya where the office of the president will be abolished, so that there is no powerful evil center of power to sabotage our beautiful constitution. I dream all the time of a new unrecognizable Kenya. Now granted, that is a pipe dream, ndoto ya mchana. But it is true that sometimes dreams, spectacular, sensational dreams, come true. And that is why a Kenyan once said, I believe Lupita Nyong'o, all dreams are valid. However, there is another dream, yeah, and that dream belongs to the UDA regime. And the dream is that they will manage to survive until the next elections, and then using many votes from the Northern Frontier District, yeah, the Kenyan Somali community, together with other votes collected here and there, especially because of the ongoing empowerment program being carried out countrywide, they will somehow have enough votes so that William Samoei Ruto squeezes himself back into the presidency for a second term, which of course will mean that all the things that are happening in Kenya today, the policies of this government, the change of mind every other second on important government policy, etc., the doublespeak, saying one thing and then doing the opposite, all that will continue for yet another term of this leadership. And that's not all. This dream also believes that the constitution will be changed so that it allows a leader to continue leading this great country for more than 2 terms. Okay? Kumi bila break will be extended. That is the dream of some people. And all dreams are valid. However, you and I know, you and I on the ground know, that the mood of Kenyans right now make that particular dream impractical, not practical, not possible, not valid. And then there's yet another group of Kenyans who are dreaming that in all this chaos, all this uncertainty in the country, all this lack of leadership, they'll be able to take advantage of it and somehow use it all as a springboard into State House and the presidency. And I don't think I need to mention any names. We have several politicians working very hard in that direction. Babu Owino, Kalonzo Musyoka quickly come to mind. and the others. And of course, there is nothing wrong with ambition, especially if you're not harming other people or making life impossible for other people in order to reach your dreams. There is absolutely nothing wrong with ambition. However, out of all these dreams, ndoto za mchana, not all of them can come true. Indeed, I believe maybe only one, or at most two, which are consistently close to each other, will come true. But back to these crazy Raila Odinga rumors. It is possible that Raila Amolo Odinga, the Raila Kenyans knew, has become senile, and is not operating like the real Raila Odinga. Indeed, I have now heard several times some people even suggesting something so crazy, that the real Raila Odinga has been replaced by something else that is not Raila Odinga. Okay? And although this very neatly explains what has been happening, especially over this broad-based government, for those of us who have studied the career of Raila Odinga for a long time, and for those of us who are not quick to judge, although this crazy theory may explain that, I don't think so. Okay? And so, we are forced to analyze this kamikaze theory. Now, it is not a secret that Raila Amolo Odinga is not in good health. Indeed, at the meeting of the Central Committee of the ODM party, after the meeting was over, we saw clearly that Raila Amolo Odinga chose to use a golf cart, those vehicles on golf courses, to be driven to his vehicle at the car park. We all saw that clearly. And even his appearance tells us very clearly, Raila is not that healthy, at least not as healthy as he has been in the past, which suggests that his time in politics going forward may be very limited. He's about to retire from politics, completely get out of politics very soon. And therefore it would make sense for him to make one last spectacular move that will leave people talking about it long after he has left the political stage. I just can't get that thought pattern out of my mind. However, I need to repeat, judging by what is happening in Kenya right now, the mood of the people, it is highly unlikely that anything that Raila does going forward will so impress Kenyans that they will recover their love for Baba, even just half of it. Because once upon a time, in case you've forgotten, this was a very loved politician in the country called Kenya. Well, shall we just leave it at that and say, let time tell. Time will tell. Now, very quickly before I go, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you who participated in the gifting season of Chris Kumekucha. I'm very humble and I'm very touched, especially because we're living through very tough times. And as the clock ticks for the last few final hours of this season, I just thought it's a good idea to give you my heartfelt thanks. Asanteni sana. I feel so loved by all of you. I feel so honored by all of you. Asanteni sana sana. And I rededicate myself in this purpose, in this journey that we're traveling together, with you also playing a much bigger role than you may imagine by supporting me like this. For the latecomers, you can see details on your screens right now on what you need to do if you want to squeeze yourself in at the very last minute, so that you're not left out of the annals of history, the history of the fight for a better Kenya, the good fight for a better Kenya. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.